17 wearing the jersey.
Trolled. You know, I should have known this because Charles pointed that out to me earlier. I should have known Charles was lying to me. The setup king, man. My roommate is a troll.
Poor guy.
Poor guy.
Poor you.
It's all good. Shuton and ApolloKage, this is going to be a sensational matchup. Eager to see who Shuton's going to pick, though. Olimar, Pyra, Mythra.
Will be the Olimar, it sounds
like.
like.
It sounded like Ollie, okay.
There are a couple things that make me afraid of this matchup when you're considering Olimar versus Snake, and one of them is really just the funnier interaction, which is that sometimes when Snake drops a grenade, and boy, ApolloKage pulls a lot of those, sometimes they just run and bring them back to you because they're like, oh, you want an item, and it's one that's about to blow up right in your face. So Shuton does need to be wary of that. One thing he does get, though, is that those red Pikmin are invulnerable to fire damage, and explosions are indeed fire damage, so they can be a really big boon to him.
Yeah, anything you can kind of help to kind of mitigate and nullify that damage that Snake's going to put out with those explosions is definitely something you want in that arsenal. So something to certainly keep an eye on here for Shuton. Find himself off stage here, though. ApolloKage putting on the pressure, goes for an up tilt, not finding anything, though. Now Shuton getting a chance to recoup some of that damage that he's facing.
And trying to make something work with that red Pikmin as well. White Pikmin taking the ultimate sacrifice. Nikita straight to the face, but yep, ApolloKage knows that once you get that down throw, I think it's about 120%, you're able to just hit Olimar straight into that blast zone.
There you go. Beautifully played. Okay. First stock going the way of ApolloKage, and this is what Snake loves. Get that lead, and then you play my game at that point, and always content. He's a big body character, man. He's okay with taking these trades. That's not something he's going to worry too much about. Obviously, though, Olimar with the right Pikmin, with the right lineup, can definitely annihilate that stock, but so smart, always having that grenade in range, man. You're not getting anything for free.
I mean, and especially when you have the purples available, it's just Shuton too, right? You threaten that grenade, and you realize, well, I don't even need to go near that purple Pikmin's threat zone because the grenade's interposing. You're not going to take those trades.
We living? Yes, we are. Okay, 173. ApolloKage gets it done, but finally able to put that to rest. Shuton going to get himself a stock on the board.
You saw ApolloKage also try to detonate the C4 on his way down there too, but Shuton was quick enough to the punch that he actually beat out that explosion. So bringing things a little bit back to even, but again, the damage racks up so quickly, and that's one of the things that ApolloKage, he likes to pretend that he is the campiest Snake player in the world, but I do not agree with his analysis. I do not agree with that.
I mean, he definitely has those moments where he can certainly go in. Like, this is not a guy who relies 100% on just running away, right? He can mix it up and switch between the two styles pretty cleanly.
We're in the Myron zone right now, though. We got the two purple Pikmin and the red to boot behind that. Again, dealing with, you see, that grenade detonates, and the red Pikmin continues his flight path and latches onto ApolloKage, and that's going to be one of Shuton's really, really reliable damage dealers, but he did not see the C4 coming, and I'll be frank, I didn't either.
Oh, I'd say it was the placement behind it, too, right? It always seems a little deceptive, especially when you're able to get those nades out as well, so kudos to ApolloKage being very shifty. Catching even Shuton, a studied eye like him, off guard.
Just noticed, irrelevant to the way the game is going to end, but that last C4 ApolloKage put down was that rare, like, butterfly version, where it's, like, shaped and everything.
Oh, was it? Okay, I didn't even notice that.
We were close enough that I could see it, and I was like, I haven't seen that in a while. But, again, no bearing on the way that the game will end. It does not increase power or anything. What we do know is that we're down to last stock apiece, and ApolloKage is the one playing with a significant lead. Red Pikmin taking one for the team once again, but Shuton not able to fight out of the corner just yet.
Fortunate there. He was definitely trying to set up for a back air. None doing those. Shuton maybe having one last gas to make something happen.
Back airs, yeah, taking care of the Pikmin as well, letting ApolloKage get up closer, but we see Shuton really working with a lot of range, down throw into the forward tilt. Again on Olimar, that head's just big enough that he can connect it, and ApolloKage taking game one from a premier worldwide talent.
No doubt about that. That is a huge first game for ApolloKage, getting that. Again, ApolloKage just continuing to raise his stocks and notoriety, man. This is a guy who's definitely going to be around, I believe, for years to come in the Smash space. Dude's an absolute monster. Even Shuton finding himself on the receiving end, and right there, just put him down, send him out. Great game number one. Curious to see if we'll stick with the Olimar.
Yeah,
let us find out.
I would think that the Olimar is going to go away, especially it sounds like Shuton's changing his tag.
Yeah,
so
I noticed that he's scrolling,
might mean he's going to the Aegis. And that is indeed what we're going to. And I get the logic, right? You don't want to use a sword character against Snake if you can avoid it most of the time, because you're not as precise in avoiding the grenades. But If Shuton
You're going to trade a lot. You're going to trade a lot in this
yeah.
situation. Yeah.
And if he can avoid that, then absolutely this matchup is going to be great, but you do have to be very precise. And ApolloKage is about to start bringing out the entire arsenal.
No doubt about that. Well, he's going to need that and then some. Obviously, Pyra Mythra, incredibly powerful character. Shuton having no trouble switching between the two at a moment's notice to keep you guessing.
And the specific areas that ApolloKage is choosing to control with these grenades too, knowing, all right, that's about a second away from detonating, so I can back up behind it. I'll go ahead and take the platform. Then Shuton can't really approach me in any case, so I at least get a moment to breathe and think about how I'm going to approach the new matchup that maybe was a little bit less prepared for. It definitely seems like it now as Shuton playing with a pretty big lead, but here comes a juggle.
ApolloKage obviously having to start from behind can be a little frustrating, but this is something that Snake can do, and that is definitely make up the damage deficit. But that forward smash coming out so quickly from Mythra, it is hard to predict that one.
I mean, it's quick and it has a lot of range, and those are the two things that Snake really hates dealing with.
Yep.
So, you know, you catch him in those situations where the grenade's not going to help him. Shuton absolutely feasting on him and will continue to, reading that high cipher with the forward air, trying to keep the pressure on. Love the Phantom Footstool from ApolloKage, though, bailing him out of that landing.
And we are seeing a lot of pressure being put on ApolloKage, and Shuton just one step ahead of him in a lot of these interactions. And you're seeing, you know, surprisingly, those grenades really not having too much of an impact on how Shuton is able to initiate all of this offense. He has been cooking them thus far up till they're finally going to slay that first one, but considerable amount of damage being done. Got to be feeling good about that if you're a Shuton fan.
Definitely still has an opportunity to close out that stock with a clean full lead. Hasn't been hit on the second stock yet, and Shuton's spacing only getting better and better as this game goes on, right? He is not giving ApolloKage a chance to hit him big, and Shuton's getting those big hits back.
I was going to say, notice that time using ApolloKage's own nades against him, capitalizing off the explosive, and this is a heck of a lead to get to enjoy right now and just continue to rack it up.
The up tilt going to be clanking with the grenade. Unfortunate for Shuton, but good, I guess, that it didn't detonate at the very least. Not going to be mind with the lead that he's playing with right now. It's going to be all about making sure that if he gets trades, he's going to be putting himself in a good position afterwards, just like he did there, getting to continue the juggle against AK.
Lord. How do we bring this one back for ApolloKage? It just seems like Shuton unbothered by all the artillery that he is putting out on the field. And some of these stray hits to connect. Okay, I like that.
Oof. It landed with the Barbarian Slice. I mean, it is a slow move, but definitely can put on the damage. ApolloKage gonna need a whole lot of that right now, playing with that full stock deficit, and on his last, gonna need to find a way to get Shuton into that blast zone and control the pace of this one. Maybe go into a game 3 with the set tied up, though.
Oh my goodness. Laser Man coming through. Oh my goodness. Oh, that was actually going to wrap it up.
I'm shocked it didn't.
Yeah, that Prominence Revolt is nothing to play around with. Forward tilt 2. These meaty hits from Pyra, not enough to seal it away just yet. Oh, but ApolloKage, little miscue on the recovery, going to give Shuton game number 2.
Curious to see what ApolloKage's answer is going to be, not just on the stage, but in the way that he's going to play this, because he's very well adapted to playing slower paced games, which is why he likes to think that he's a campy player, right? If the game slows down, then I feel a lot more comfortable, but Shuton kind of on top of him the entire time. If he can find a way to kind of keep Shuton at bay, not let him just space out the aerials and get to center stage and everything, ApolloKage is going to be a lot happier with the way that the game unfolds.
All right. Definitely agree with that. Maybe a little bit more of a close quarters battle right now. And we are going to see Shuton stick with Pyra Mythra, no doubt about it.
Here on Hollow Bastion here for game 3.
I really like Hollow Bastion.
You do?
I think it's a cool stage.
Dude, I mean, visually it's great.
Yeah.
And dude, the idea of that center platform as well, like we've only ever had Smashville, which is so small, but you get like the wider bursts for different kinds of ledge trapping on the stage too.
100%.
Glad we got it in the rule set. And ApolloKage as his counter pick, definitely happy he has it too. You see that the idea for him is to fight for that center platform, put grenades and C4 all over it, and hope that Shuton can't really throw out moves to his own volition. Right now though, ApolloKage making it work to the best that he can, 127%, and Shuton's still stuck in the corner.
Yeah, he is absolutely playing this stage perfectly. What a shot with the Nikita. Target locked and definitely taken out on that one. Good start for ApolloKage. Certainly a nice departure from what we saw in that previous game in this matchup.
Ooh, great idea there by Shuton, seeing where the C4 was positioned. ApolloKage backing up behind it. I think he realized, okay, he wants to detonate that C4, but thankfully my sword is the size of an entire U.S. county. So I can at least cover ApolloKage coming back and maybe get some more after.
Very much so true. And you're seeing the difference. Oh, it's just so obvious right here, too. Like, finally, that artillery for Snake really panning out. Again, that fight for center stage, as you mentioned, Kimona, greatly, though, going in the favor of ApolloKage. 2-stock lead and showing no signs of slowing down. Finally, a stock for Shuton, but man, ApolloKage is already, it wasn't just extra credit, man. I feel like a whole new assignment, the way he was delivering all that extra aggression.
And the question for Shuton is, right, I mean, you don't really get somebody to help you with your homework today. You have got to figure out a way to stop ApolloKage from just sitting in center stage and slowing down your game plan. Maybe you can't really control the game by throwing out big hitboxes. You really got to start using your movement to put ApolloKage in a bad position.
Right. Trying to find these openings, though. Nothing really presenting itself. Maybe a time to strike. Oh, no, just narrowly whiffing off that. We're just going to just retreat, get that grenade back in hand. That's what it's all about, always having that nade within earshot.
You know, it's interesting to note that a lot of Snake players really like to try to use fear as a tactic to control the stage, right? People having respect for where you put things. You better respect that back air, too, as ApolloKage just shooting Shuton into that left blast zone, taking a 2-1 lead in the set. And it was really all down to the fact that it really wasn't fear controlling Shuton. He was very, very well aware of where the grenades and the C4 were, and you saw the way he played around that. But for ApolloKage, it was about putting them in positions where it just objectively cuts off the ways that Shuton can approach. He never really found an avenue in.
It's as simple as that, but Shuton will at least make some solace in the fact, okay, I get the counter pick here. Go ahead and take it to a stage that plays more to my strengths and needs right now. En route trying to get to this game number 5. It's so crazy that, you know, we're so early still in bracket. We're getting big ticket matches like this, you know. Seeing Louis versus Cola earlier was absolutely nutty. Getting treated to this one as well. Light on the stage against Mont. There's a lot of good matches we've been getting so far. It's only going to continue to get better and better.
I would love to see this one go to a game 5 too, man, because both of these
I think
players,
it actually might, you know.
They've already demonstrated some great adaptation, but I mean, what do you think about the way that this is unfolding? Back to PS2, is this Shuton's game to take?
I feel like for Shuton, it's just like, okay, well, definitely giving myself a little bit more space to operate with. Maybe something similar to how I was able to take care of business in game number 2. You know, for ApolloKage, of course, understanding, you know, wrapping it up right now would definitely be the best way to go, best course. But I think Shuton definitely has the space to work with, but, you know, maybe not showing it right now. ApolloKage is definitely, yet again, putting up that wall of explosives, trying to dictate the pace.
Yeah, no, I was about to say, like, I think maybe the idea for Shuton is that ApolloKage can't dictate the pace as much on Pokemon Stadium 2, right? Where on that center platform, you don't have many options to approach him, but now at least if ApolloKage wants to do that here, he has to sit behind these platforms and give up a lot of stage control.
Very true.
Shuton trying to make it work with the combo into the Prominence Revolt, but nothing doing just yet.
Ooh. All right, Pyra being out right now, just a threat in and of itself. So how hard-hitting she can absolutely be. Smart stuff. Okay, ApolloKage able to really just still even be in discipline, even with throwing into those offensive fits. We're seeing right there, what a time to go off.
That was one of the only times in this entire set where I think Shuton was not aware of where the C4 was. ApolloKage absolutely caught him off guard.
There's a lot to keep track of, especially like when you get into that rhythm. You can always have the 2 nades out. You're throwing out those Nikitas. Obviously, the C4 is somewhere lurking on the stage too. It's a lot to keep track of. Even somebody has studied as Shuton can be found lacking.
Right now trying to hold on to that center stage. Again, being aware of that C4, catching ApolloKage on the detonation as well, but will you be able to seal out the juggle? Spacing on the recovery was great, but Shuton really hung tough. That dash attack is certainly enough to do it.
Definitely. Having that scouted out, exactly what ApolloKage was thinking. Well done from Shuton. Having that recovery route completely covered. So at least at the very least, yeah, I was going to say, get some combination hits here. Nicely done. Look at that. All that damage. It goes right into Pyra. I love that. Just swinging. Those hits can definitely challenge that C4, but how about that, Kimona? Big hit out of the park. See you later.
My God, yeah, Shuton an absolute home run with that combo right there. And so much of that sequence was really, really carefully crafted because he interrupted his own combos where normally he'd just be mashing buttons, building up percents, but he was mindful of the grenades. He knew where his combos could and could not go. And once the switch to the Pyra came out, man, Shuton's Pyra is so impressive.
Oh my goodness, doing everything to the, oh my God, Steph, what?
The Nikita did absolutely everything. This is a 2v1 EE.
Bro, that was insane. I've never, the effectiveness in which he used that for that edge guard was insanity. Shuton's just got to be scratching his head like, all right, well, that happened.
That's the most value I've seen out of a Nikita in my entire life. It was defense, it was edge guarding, and it was the KO. Like, what?
All in one Swiss Army knife for that stock removal for ApolloKage, and he stuck him. Yeah, he did.
Question is, has the C4 transferred? It does look like it's on ApolloKage right now, so I mean, he's going to have to find a way to get that onto Shuton at some point. Looks like it's transferred, and it might be back. You got to be careful.
Yep, back and forth they go. A little bit of hot potato at the moment.
Yeah. At that point, with the timer ticking down, ApolloKage just wants to stop it from being even a factor, because if that timer goes off at the wrong time, we're going to game 5.
100%. Uh-oh. Ooh. Big catches. Oh, Lord have mercy. Oh, my goodness, just threatening right there. Maybe thinking grab, wasn't quite in position to get it. Oh, great catch there from Shuton. And the exchanges between these two right now, so impactful.
Follow the DI, ApolloKage, one more solid hit will give him the game. Back throw, this is into the Nikita. We've seen great recoveries before, but not this time. ApolloKage taking down one of the world's best players in Shuton. St. Louis, Missouri has got to be proud of their favorite Snake because ApolloKage has got top form gameplay.
Always delivering, always surprising, and always a threat, as Shuton discovering right there. Kudos to, it's usually the up tilt. That's the MVP move for Snake. This time, though, it's the Nikita, bro. That placement, that boy was moving.
And ApolloKage came by and gave us like the Rico Suave thumbs up, too. He was like, I got that. He actually just did a drive-by thumbs up. And, man, he deserves it after that because it wasn't even like it was just an eked-out win over one of the best players in the world. That was pretty assuredly his set from basically go.
Very, very hard fought on both ends right there with ApolloKage.